Hey everybody, my name is Deja and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna let a random color wheel pick which books I read. I've been planning this video for a couple months. I've seen this idea going around a lot, like just people using random colors or color wheels to pick which books that they read, and you just try to like match the cover, like the majority of the cover color to that color. And I've just been really excited about this idea. I don't know why. I don't really have much planned. Like last month I had like a lot of readathons and stuff going on, and this month I don't have that. I did film my August TBR, so I have some books on my TBR, so I'm gonna keep those in mind while I am spinning the wheel and seeing which colors I get. And originally I was going to use, like, there were websites that like when you load the page you just get a random color, but they tend to be really hyper specific, and while that's good and everything like that, I feel like it would make more sense to just kind of do general colors. I do have a wheel here and it has more colors than like a regular color wheel because it has like aqua, dark green, green, light green, and so I feel like this was like good because it's like more specific than a general color wheel but not as hyper specific as some of those other websites. But we're gonna spin for our very first color to see which book that we're going to pick. I'm kind of nervous but excited, and so let's just spin the wheel and see what we get. Oh, it has a little audio. Your choice? That's so lame. I don't want to do your choice right now because I guess I would just get to choose. I am currently in the middle of one book, so I could put that one for this, but I feel like that's so boring. So I'm just going to hide that from the wheel and we'll spin again. Okay, we got red. So let's go look at my TBR and see what red books we can find. If you're not on my Patreon, I don't think that you've actually ever seen this. This is where I keep my priority TBR. So my monthly TBR goes up here, and then I have like my seasonal TBR, and then just books that I really want to read soon up here. So right here is actually the books I put on my August TBR, and I don't think any of these are gonna fit the bill. I do have Woman Eating, but this one is not mostly red to me. Like it has red accents, but the cover is mostly like black and gray. I have some more over here, but I don't think any of these are gonna fit either. This is the book I'm currently reading, The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, but this one I feel like would count for like pink or green, but that's it. It's not gonna count for red. I honestly think our best bet is going to be one that I've been wanting to read this summer. It is actually YA and it's right here, and that is Clown in a Cornfield. I feel like this one is obviously red, like it's red and black, but I feel like people would say like this is a red cover, it has a red spine, so I think this is the one that we're gonna go with. It should be a pretty fast read. It is a YA horror book, and I believe that it's about like this new girl who moves to a tiny town and they have a weird clown for a mascot, and then some people start to get killed off, and I think it's by this clown mascot. So we'll see. I'm going to try and see if I can get the audiobook for this one. I probably will because it's more of like a backlist book. I think it came out in 2020, so I'm probably going to be able to get this audiobook from my library, and this is going to be our first read of the reading vlog.
Said you needed space, said you needed more time to think, so you went away, but you still would stay in my dream. Now you're back for more. Why you in my reality? My head closed the door, even though my heart just won't leave. That was then, can't go back. Hurt so bad, had to block out the memory. If we try again, start from scratch. You wanna pick up where we left off, but you've been gone away. You've been gone away so long. Since you've been gone away, you've been gone away.
Sorry for the empty bed. I'm currently washing our sheets and stuff like that, but it is the next day. I didn't read too much of this yesterday. Oh, I just literally closed it where I was. I think I read like 20% yesterday. I only really listened to it when I was at the gym, but today I went on a walk this morning because North Carolina has actually been so nice. I had an appointment in a nearby town and they have like more stuff. So I went to like TJ Maxx and stuff, and I'll show y'all what I got at TJ Maxx. I didn't plan on buying anything, but I did. And then I've made it about 50% of the way into Clown in the Cornfield, listening to my audiobook on the walk and while driving. And I'm enjoying this one so far. It's not anything to write home about. This one follows Quinn, and her mother passed away. So her dad basically decides to move him and her to a small town in the middle of like, it's like a rural state, and they're from like Philadelphia, so she's used to like a really big city life. And she gets there, the kids are kind of mean to her, but she does start to like get accepted and everything like that. But there is this town mascot, which is like this weird clown. Y'all can kind of see his face. And before this book started, the town's only factory shut down. That kind of like divided the like town in half, and a lot of the adults are blaming the teenagers for what happened. They're like certain things, but they're like really blaming them, which is kind of weird to me. But then also like the kids kind of think the adults are at fault, and this does turn into a slasher. I know we just started to get some of like the slasher violence in the past like chapter, because our main character gets invited to this party, and at the party violence starts to ensue. So I'm excited because I feel like we're about to start getting into like the slasher. This first little bit has been mostly like setup and stuff like that, so I'm excited to continue on. It's nothing really crazy. I am enjoying it. It's a really fast read, so I'm hoping to actually finish this one up today, so then that way I can spin for another book. I'm on a lot of subreddits, and I literally saw people asking like why this book was YA, because it goes so gory. So I'm interested to see how the gore is gonna be. And they think the reason that it's placed at YA is because the characters are younger. I kind of disagree in a way, because I've read slasher books that have young characters in it that are marketed as horror, and then I've read YA slashers that are marketed obviously towards young adults. And I feel like this one, the writing is very juvenile, not like in a bad way or anything, like it's not like overly juvenile, but it definitely reads as juvenile versus like the adult slashers that I've read that have like teenage characters still read it like an adult book. So I'm interested to see how intense the gore is going to be, because people brought this up. I don't really think it's going to be that crazy. I think people are just weird, but we will see. I'm going to show y'all what I got at TJ Maxx. I didn't really get anything spooky. They had a lot of Halloween decor out, but I do have a decent bit of Halloween decor, and I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. Like, how much decor can I put up? You know what I'm saying? So like I am trying to like save money right now, because I have like a lot of trips and things and just expenses coming up in the next few months. So I'm trying to like save money. So I didn't buy any Halloween decor. As I said, I have like a decent collection already. It's not anything like super crazy, but it's like a bin or two of Halloween decor. And as I said, a 1-bedroom, how much decor can you put up? But I did get a lot of like body stuff, so I found this and I was really excited about this. It's from the brand Body Prescriptions, and it's Tahitian vanilla body butter, and this is supposed to be a dupe, I think, of the Josie Marin Tahitian vanilla body butter, which I love. Something about that scent, I just really like it. It's vanilla, but it's kind of different, and this, it literally has the thing on it. They had 2 of them, but the first one looked kind of like someone was digging up in there, so I didn't want to get that one. I would have bought both, honestly, because they're only $6.99. But I really like the scent. And I normally use like multiple lotions. Like I normally use like a really hydrating lotion because I have eczema. I have eczema cream, and then I normally use like a scented lotion or oil. So I like to use this as like my second lotion. It doesn't look as big as like the Josie Marin containers, but it actually is. That one is only like 6 ounces, I think. This is 14.8 ounces. And that's crazy, because I have been like thinking about for the past couple months, because I used the whole thing super fast. So I was thinking like, I was like, maybe I should buy the refill, because I have like this one that you can like, it's like a pouch, and you could just squeeze it and refill it, and it's like 2.25 amount of the container, so it's like 13.5 ounces, so it's literally like an ounce less than this, more than an ounce less than this one, and that is like $65, and this was $7. So I went with this. And then I got another lotion from this brand, which I liked this one because it had a pump, but this one is just a hyaluronic acid hydrating body butter with vanilla shea. They had a couple of these with the pumps, but this was like the one where I liked the smell the best, and this one was still also $7. It does have more ounces. Like I think it has like almost 5 ounces more, maybe like 4.5 ounces more, and it has this pump, but it was still the same price, so I got that too. And then I got this Chi texturizing spray. It was actually on the clearance rack for $9, and I wanted to get this. I didn't know how it works. Oh, there it goes. Does it spray? Okay, there. I was worried it wouldn't spray. I want to get this because I had a texturizing spray from Amika, but it was super small, and I was like, for the price, like that's low-key not a lot of product, and I like to use a texturizing spray, especially like when I first wash my hair, because like right now my hair I feel like is good. It's like fluffy, it's whatever, but at first when I first washed my hair, because there's no like knots or tangles, my hair is super soft. I have super soft kind of fine hair, so normally my curls get kind of like compressed and they don't hold their shape as well because they're not having that like texture, because they're literally like so soft and silky. So that's why I've still been using a texture spray, and so I saw this one and I picked it up. And then I also got this St. Cloud Caramel Kiss hair and body fragrance mist, and it had multiple different scents in these. I don't love the scent. Like, I feel like it's good. It's more like vanilla than anything, and I wanted a body mist specifically that was more of like a like vanilla or like caramel, like warmer scent for fall, since that's what we're going into. I don't really have any other body mists that are like summer themed. Like I have like a coconut one, I think I have like a like strawberry one, so I was like, let me get something that'll like be good for fall, and this was $9.99. And then I got this soap. They had a bunch of soap, but I just liked this bottle. Like, it's a little, what is it called? A truck. It's a truck with some pumpkins, and it just smells like pumpkin soap. I have a lot of like Bath and Body Works soap I use, and I use the foaming one, so you can't really like transfer those to a different container, but I was like, maybe I'll keep this in the kitchen. And then I got this oil holder container thing, because I just keep the oil out on the counter because it doesn't really fit well in our cabinet where I keep the seasonings and stuff, and I want it easily accessible. And I literally have been just keeping like the bottle of oil out on the counter, and it's like low-key kind of ugly. So I was like, okay, this is cute, and it was only $3.99. Also, this soap was $6.99. And then the last like smaller thing that I got was this little mug. I have so many mugs, I don't need any, but this one like low-key reminded me of my tattoo. I don't know if y'all can see, but it's a ghost with a book, and this is a ghost with a book. So I was like, this is literally me in ghost form. And this was $7.99. And then the last two things I got are the same thing. I got two of the same thing. So I got these leopard print pillows. I low-key love them. I feel like they're very elegant leopard. I don't know, like I feel like they're gonna be elegant. So I got two of these, and they're actually like, I don't know if y'all could tell, they're massive. They're absolutely massive, and I want to put them on the couch. My boyfriend was like, I don't want them out there, so they'll probably go here on the bed. But I really like them. They're soft, and I thought they were $10 each, and I was like, these big pillows for $10 each are a steal. But then when I got to the register, they rung up for $20, and then when I looked at the tag, they did say $20. But I swear, like, one of them had a $10 sticker on it or something, because I really thought they were $10. But still, for $20, I like these a lot, and they're super soft and nice, and I feel like they're just cute. They're really cute. So that's my TJ Maxx haul. I'm going to get back to doing work, because I'm always doing work every single day for like my YouTube channel and my job, of course. And then also, one of the things that is going to be an expense is I'm starting a graduate certificate program in a couple weeks. So I will be having to do classes too. I have two online night classes, so, but I'll have to obviously like do work or whatever we have during the day. Anyways, that's not the point. I'm going to get back to work and hopefully finish this up later today, and then we can get another color for the next book. I did not talk to y'all yesterday. I apologize. It's just been so gloomy here the past few days, and so yesterday I just felt kind of like bleh, you know, like just and I kind of made yesterday a watching day. I caught up on The Summer I Turned Pretty because they dropped episode 5 yesterday, and episode 5, I never really had like a distinct team. Like, if you watch that show, obviously it's like a love triangle, so everybody's like team Jeremiah or team Conrad, and I never really cared. Honestly, I was just like watching the show. But yesterday's episode was in Conrad's point of view, and I'm not going to spoil the rest of the show, but it's in Conrad's point of view. And honestly, like, being in his head, he reminded me so much of my boyfriend. Like, Jeremiah is nothing like my boyfriend, but seeing Conrad, it really made me have so much more empathy for him, and he reminded me so much of my boyfriend that I was like, I'm definitely team Conrad now. We'll see how that pans out. And also, Wednesday, season 2, part 1 dropped. So they're dropping 4 episodes in August. They just dropped them. And they're dropping 4 episodes in September. So my boyfriend and I are watching those. Literally, the ad just came on the TV right now. But my boyfriend and I are watching that together. So we got like into the second episode. We didn't finish it because he started to not feel too well. But today's going to be like a real big editing day for me. Obviously I have work and I have meetings and stuff like that. But between all that, I'm going to try and edit a video. I've been meaning to edit this video. Like, I should have edited it like Tuesday or yesterday. And yesterday I had the time. I just felt bleh, as I said. So yeah, anyways, I finished Cloud in a Cornfield. And this one I'm giving like 3.5 stars. I don't really have many thoughts on this. It is just like a fun slasher book, and I don't know why people were so up in arms about like the gore in here. Like there's definitely kills, but it's a slasher, like that's what it's meant to do. So even if it's a YA book, it still needs to have those slasher elements. And it did. So I don't know why people are like, it's so gory, like why is it considered a YA book? Like I completely see why it's a YA book. Not like dogging on the book at all. Like I'm not saying that's in a negative way or a bad way or anything. It's just like the fact of the matter. I've read some really, really good slashers, and I feel like this one just doesn't necessarily hold up to those. I feel like a lot of YA slashers are not necessarily my favorite, but this one was still like a decent time. I kind of like that we had the small town element, and seeing her kind of get to know the other teenagers and stuff like that was interesting. And then she's dealing with like the grief of her mom, and her dad is obviously kind of struggling too. So seeing all those elements, I kind of liked. It doesn't dive too far into them. Like we're not getting too much commentary on any of that, but it was nice to have. But the reason for like the slashing and the killing, I feel like was unrealistic. I think most slashers are unrealistic, but at least they normally bring in like a supernatural or paranormal element to kind of completely take it out of reality. So it's just kind of like a fun time. But this one's completely like reality based. And so the reason for all the killing kind of just seemed unrealistic. I mean, I don't want to say that it would never happen because people have done crazier shit. It just, I don't know, it just felt unrealistic, but I still had a decent time reading this. That's why I'm giving it 3.5 stars. There's nothing wrong with this book per se. If it was, I would give it below a 2.5 or a 2.5. It's just that it didn't necessarily resonate with me. I'm glad to finally get off my TBR because I've had it on for a long time. And I also know there's a movie of this, but I heard that it's really bad. So I don't know if I'll watch it, but that is my thoughts on Clown in a Cornfield. I don't know what happened, but my camera battery literally went from 45% to 5%, so I changed it if it looks different. But we're going to do the spinner wheel to get 2 new colors, I think, because I want something to read on my Kobo. Sometimes, like, during the day, I just want to read on my Kobo, or, like, at night, I prefer reading on my Kobo, and then I also always have an audiobook going at the same time of whenever I'm reading. So I'm going to do 2 spins, one for a book for my Kobo and one for an audiobook. And I think I'm going to do both spins first to get the colors and then decide the books. I also updated the wheel if y'all can see it. I added brown and gray because I feel like a lot of book covers have brown and gray. And then I also added magenta and light pink. So we're going to go in for our first spin. Okay, so we got dark blue. I'm going to just screenshot the color to make sure that I have it. I'm going to hide the slice and we're going to do our second spin. Okay, so we got aqua. Aqua and blue are really similar in color, but aqua is obviously more green and lighter, and we got dark blue. So I'm going to go pick out some books for these colors, and I'll come back and tell y'all what I choose. Okay, so one of them's kind of a stretch, but the first one I got for dark blue, I'm going to do Rhythms Blues by Kimberly Brown. This is a black romance that is like an urban romance, I believe, which I've never read before. This one's only 280 pages, and a lot of the urban romances that I'm interested in reading, because I've never read any, are like 400, 500, 600 pages. So I was like, okay, this one seems like a good like page count to start, and it just sounds really good. I'm excited to read it, and I have it on my Kobo. And then for aqua, I actually had a lot of options for aqua, and I'm gonna go with one that is kind of a stretch, but I'm gonna go with Pleading the Fish by Brie Baker, because obviously the cover has a lot of stuff going on and a lot of colors, but each book has like a top and bottom banner, and they change colors with each book, and this one, the color is aqua, so that's why I was like, okay, let me go with this one. I don't physically own either of these books, which makes me feel kind of bad, but I'm doing my new series where I read books off my physical TBR later this month, so I'm like, I'll get a lot of books off then, but I really want to read this one because I put it on my TBR for the month, and also it is a cozy mystery. I'm in the mood for a cozy mystery. I'm not like in a really heavy reading mood right now, so I'm kind of just gonna go with like what I want to read, which is like more light stuff, and this is gonna finish up a series for me. I own the rest of the series, I just don't own the last book, so I need to get it, but this is the last book in the series, so I'm excited to see how it's gonna wrap up. And this is just a cozy mystery series following Everly Swan, and she opens an iced tea shop back in her small town of Charm, and there's a lot of stuff that happens, so obviously it's a cozy mystery series, so each different book has a different murder that's connected to our main character or her friends or family, and she's trying to figure out who murdered the person. So those are the 2 books I'm going to go with. I'm really excited to read both of them. I'm really excited for both of these, which is saying a lot because I'm not really in a reading mood right now. And so I'm trying to get myself in the reading mood by reading things that I really want to read, especially because I am going to be doing that series where the TBR jar is just picking what I'm reading. And so I have no say. So I'm trying to like get in a reading mood before I do that series. And I did finally finish my TBR jar last night. I'll show it to y'all later. I don't feel like going to get it because it's in the room, but I did finish the jar, so that's amazing. That has been a big task for me over the past few months, so I'm really happy about that. But I'm gonna go edit a little bit of my video before I have this meeting at 11. Sorry if my hair looks crazy. I'm literally sitting on a stuffed animal. Sorry if my hair looks crazy. I've been laying down for a little bit. It's like 7 p.m. And I don't know how I've done it. I haven't been reading for the past like 2 hours. I literally just got off the phone with my mom for like an hour. But I'm 48% of the way into Rhythms Blues, and I'm loving this book. I've been wanting to get into urban romances, but like, you know when they're called like My Life with a Thug? Like, I don't know, like something about that kind of is like, you know, like, I don't know, but I'm eating this one up, okay? Like, and you guys can see, I don't know if you actually can because it's like dark, but the cover is super blue. I probably popped up a picture so y'all have seen it, but I'm loving this one. Basically, we're following this woman named Rhythm, and she is an occupational therapist. She has a very successful business, and she actually had a crush on a boy when she was younger, right? And he apparently also had a crush on her, but she didn't know. And this boy moved out of their town in South Carolina to LA to pursue music, and he blew up and got really big. And she went to like one of his concerts or something, and he spotted her and was like, oh, I recognize her. And then when they saw each other, he was basically like, I had a crush on you too, whatever, and they hit it off. So then they start dating, whatever, and after a year she moves to LA to be with him, and she ends up opening her occupational therapy practice. He pays for the building and everything like that, and he takes care of her really well, but she's also really successful on her own and can take care of herself, but he does help take care of her. But then recently, when we're opening up in the book, basically they're having problems in their relationship because he's been moving kind of funny. There's this other girl that is signed to his record label, and they have been seen like together a lot. She'll be all over him and on top of him, and even like she'll sometimes come home and they'll be like in the studio together, normally with other people, but like they'll be on the studio together, and like she'll be all over him. So like it seems like there's something a little bit more here than just that, because they're not even just doing it necessarily also for publicity. Like sometimes she sees them outside of like public situations, and so she's like, you're moving funny, you're acting weird, and she does not like that. Obviously, he even comes to her with this idea that his record label proposed, where him, the other label mate, should get into a fake relationship to basically like promote each other and stuff like that, because they're like the 2 biggest stars on their record label. And she's obviously like, no, like I don't want you parading around another girl while I'm sitting at home cooking your food. She also does not want to be known. That's like the big thing. He's like, it would be fine if you wanted to come to red carpets and stuff with me, but she's like, I don't want to be in the public eye. Like I don't want that for myself. Like I still support you, I'm always helping you, I'm always like there with your music, I'm always at your release parties, but I don't want to be known as your girlfriend. But I want people to know that you have a girlfriend. And that's kind of where they're like division comes in, because he's like, that's fine, like if you want to be known as my girlfriend, that's okay, but I want you to be public, like I want people to know you. And she's like, no, because she also doesn't want her success to be driven by him. She wants to be successful on her own. And so they're kind of having some division, whatever. But then she starts running into this man, and I will say anything that happens with her and this man happened after she breaks up with her boyfriend, because she does break up with him. I just want to make that clear, so there's no like talks about cheating. But she keeps running into this man who's actually the producer on her man's newest album, and they do end up having like a one-night stand together after she's broken up with her man, basically. But she goes to his release party and finds out there that he's the producer, and he finds out obviously that is basically his girl. Kind of not, like she's broken up with him, but her man is still like on top of her and like being like, come home, and like sending her flowers and all this different stuff when she like in her head is like single and she's broken up with him, but he's still pursuing her. And so that's basically the book. And so obviously her romance is going to be with this producer man, and I'm really liking it. I don't love the producer man because I feel like some of the things that he says, there's like a little like, but I feel like it's very realistic to how black men actually talk. That's what I'm really loving about this one, is because we even see her have like a woman friendship in here. She has a best friend, and so even like the way that they're talking is how like me and my friends talk. That's what I love about black romances. I feel like the way they talk, the way that they behave, the things that they do are so like me and my friends, and that's what I really, really love. So even like the relationship dynamics, I feel like in a black relationship can be very different than a white relationship. And so I like really, really love seeing like even just the way that they like talk, communicate, even their sexual relations. Like it's so different to me than what I read in white romances, you know? And I really like it. I'm eating it up. I've read so much of it today already, and that's kind of like crazy to say because I literally spent like 4 hours editing my video, and I had a meeting, I had work and stuff like that, and I still managed to read 50% of this. I don't know if I'm going to finish it tonight. I have not started reading Pleading the Fish, but I might crochet tonight, so I think I might listen to the audio then, but I'm not sure because right now I'm watching the Just Trish podcast. If you guys don't know Trisha Paytas, she has a podcast called Just Trish, and you know, she's been canceled on the internet multiple times. The things that she's done against the black community, I've forgiven her. I think Trish has definitely changed and evolved and grown as a person. So I sometimes watch her podcast, but you know, she just had her baby Aquaman. So I've been like more tapped into the Trisha Paytas universe, and so I'm watching her podcast right now, and it's, if you guys don't know, they're long. They're like between 2 and 3 hours. This one's 2 hours and 44 minutes. I do listen on 2x speed, but I'm watching that, and then my boyfriend's about to get home, so we might watch some Wednesday, and then even so I might watch Poker Face because I kind of want to finish that up before I start another show. So I might watch a show, but I could still potentially listen to Pleading the Fish a little bit. And even if I don't get a lot of reading done for the rest of the night, I think I'll probably get a lot of this done, especially once we lay down. But if I don't read that much of Pleading the Fish tonight, it'll be okay because tomorrow I should have a lot of time to read, because Fridays at my job are normally kind of chill because they just are like, we're wrapping stuff up. So I should have some time to read tomorrow, and I'm debating on editing a video. Normally I don't do editing days back to back unless I'm like, I edited half a video today and I'm finishing it up tomorrow, but I don't normally edit multiple videos in like a day or back to back days, and I think that's my downfall. But it's just because editing takes me so long, and I'm such a yapper that my videos are so long. But so I might edit a little bit tomorrow, but I don't plan on editing for like 4 hours like how I did today. So hopefully I'll have more time to like read and just like do whatever tomorrow. I'm kind of like in this weird place where like I really like want to read sometimes, and then the next hour I'm like, I don't want to read, I don't want to do any hobby, I don't want to do any of it. I don't know if it's like depression or what coming on. I'm actually bipolar. If you guys don't know, I have bipolar 2, and so I'm on something to stabilize me, but I think it's just my anxiety. Honestly, I've been very anxious since graduating college, and I think it's just something I'm trying to get used to. I think it's like being an adult for the first real time, of like worrying about all this adult stuff, and then also on top of that, like the world is literally collapsing in on itself. Everything in the media, very terrible time in the world right now, and the economy is a fucking disaster, so everything's sky high, whatever. We don't need to talk about that on this channel, but I think that's causing my anxiety to be high, which is causing these adverse reactions for me. But I'm hoping that I am in the mood to read tomorrow or do anything productive. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to reading a little bit of this before my boyfriend gets home, and then I think I'm gonna watch the Just Trish podcast, because I don't know, something about them just yapping. I'm like, we're all yapping together, like we're all chatting. Last night I finished Rhythms Blues, and this one I feel like the second 50% was like not as enjoyable for me. Like I really liked the first 50%, but I feel like the second half, I don't know, like I really liked how a lot of the storylines wrapped up. I think a lot of our main characters' relationship with each other was very like smut and surface level and just really based on sex and lust, and they said like, oh, I really like you, or this and that, but like I didn't really feel that or see that much. It was just them saying that. I feel like that kind of drew back my enjoyment a little bit because it just didn't feel as fleshed out as I would have wanted it to be, but I still really like this book. So I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars because the first 50% of this was so good. Like I ate it up. I read it so fast, and it was just a really fun, quick read. And I also have made it now pretty far into pleating the fish because I deep cleaned the apartment earlier today. My boyfriend, he started it for me, and then I finished it, but I was doing it for a long time, so I'm 66% of the way into Pleading the Fish, which is the last book in the Seaside Cafe mystery series, and I'm definitely liking this one more than the last couple installments because there is a relationship that has been kind of brewing, and we've been seeing it slowly evolve throughout the course of the series, and this is finally like the book where that's coming to fruition. And a lot of cozy mysteries don't have romance in them. A lot of like traditional cozy mystery people look down upon having actually a romance in a cozy mystery, but I really like it, so I'm liking kind of seeing that. There's literally going to be a wedding in this book, so I'm excited like kind of seeing like the wedding planning. Obviously someone is dead, and it's actually a person who is investigating this kind of a curse that our main character thinks that she has, because basically apparently in her family, all of the women, whoever they marry or they end up in a relationship with, all of those men have an untimely death. And obviously, as I said, there's going to be a wedding, there's like a relationship coming to fruition, and she's scared that she's actually cursed, so she had someone looking into the curse and they get murdered. So she's obviously trying to investigate and figure out what is happening, who murdered them, whatever, but she's also planning her wedding. And I'm really liking it so far. As I said, definitely more than the past couple installments in the series, but I don't know what I'm going to rate at the end. I have to see how it all wraps up in the end. It's kind of bittersweet ending the series. It's a 7-book series. I don't know if I've read a series this long in a really long time, so I'm happy that I'm finally completing it. And I think that I'll finish this one up today for sure because I literally only have like an hour left. Okay, so I'm gonna spin for the last book, but actually my boyfriend's gonna do it. So obviously I'm screen recording the wheel, and he's gonna spin. You could also spin it like that, or you can press the button. Magenta. Wait, actually I have the perfect book for this, guys. No, you're doing really good.
Always.
I'm finally getting a book from my monthly TBR on here, and that is The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love by India Holt. This one's also on my summer TBR, so I'm excited to get to it. It says that it's a historical fantasy rom-com reminiscent of Indiana Jones, but with manners, tea, and helicopter parasols. So that sounds really interesting because it's like a historical romance, but it has fantasy elements, and it's more of like a rom-com than a traditional historical romance. So I think it's gonna be really good. And I know Kayla from Books and Lala, she read this recently and gave it like 5 stars. I think she really liked it. I know that it's about birders, like the ornithologist, that's like a birder basically, like they study birds, and I think they're trying to like figure out or find this specific fantastical bird. So I'm excited about this one too. I think I also have this one on my Kobo, so I might kind of do some tandem reading between the audiobook and my Kobo. You guys know something about physical books right now, it just feels so like I have to put in so much effort to read the physical book, but on the Kobo I could just like click. So I don't know, I probably won't pick up the physical book, but this one definitely fits the color. I was like, out of all the books on my TBR for this month, I think this is the only one that I could really classify for any of the colors. Well, I think one of them could have done black and one of them could have done gray, but one of them is like beige and then the other one has a ton of colors. So I was like, this one will probably be the best one for this challenge because it's so distinctly one color. So I'm really happy that we got magenta. And so I'm gonna finish up Pleading the Fish, and then I'm gonna hop into this one. the same day, I realized that today's actually National Book Lovers Day. I saw it posted a couple different places, and my mom, she gave me a $15 Barnes & Noble gift card. So that's not that much. I'm not gonna lie, that's really not anything crazy. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get like 2 books max. So if I get more than 2 books, I give y'all permission to whoop my ass. Literally, you guys can come to North Carolina and whoop my ass. I have not been since I moved here because the closest Barnes & Noble is like over 30 minutes away, when the closest Barnes & Noble to me used to be like 10 minutes away. So even when I lived by my parents' house, the closest Barnes, I worked there and it was literally like 5-minute drive. So I'm not used to like being this far away from a Barnes & Noble. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make the trip today, do a little evening book shopping. I do love a good evening shop, and I haven't done an evening shop in a very long time. So I was like, okay, today's the day. I don't have any books particularly that I want to get. I'm just going for the vibes of it, you know, just going for the vibes. I did end up finishing Pleading the Fish, and I think I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars because I liked it more than like the last one, which I gave 4 stars. So then I'm gonna give it 4.5. I really liked how it wrapped up a lot. I really liked the conclusion to the story. The mystery was it was good. We found out some mysteries that have actually been going on throughout the entire series. So again, it felt like a good conclusion to the series. I don't think this particular like mystery that was concentrated in this book was anything insane or crazy, but it was a decent mystery. And then I really just liked wrapping it up because I really love our characters in this series. Y'all fell again. I apologize. But yeah, I really liked it. I think that it was such an amazing series, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for a good cozy mystery series. It takes place in North Carolina actually, and I just really had such a good time reading it, and I haven't again finished a series this long in a really long time, so I'm very proud of myself for doing that and sticking through to the very end. And I'm gonna start the Ornithologist Field Guide to Love. One of my libraries, I have 4 library cards. Only one of them has it, and there's like a 14-week hold for the audiobook, so I'm not gonna do that. They don't have it on Hoopla, but they have it on Everand, so I'm gonna listen to it on Everand. And it's like 10-ish hours, so I'm hoping between today and tomorrow I'll be able to finish it. And then also tomorrow I have reading sprints with my patrons, so I am definitely going to be doing some reading tomorrow. And normally on Sundays that's like the day that I clean, but I ended up cleaning today because I don't know, I want Sundays to be more of like a relaxing day. Those are the days that I would like go to the grocery store, I would clean, I would do my laundry, and I want Sundays to be more of like a chill day for me, or for me to just do whatever I want. So today I did the cleaning, so as I said, I think I'll definitely be able to finish this book. But with the driving right now back and forth, I'm probably going to listen to almost a full hour of the audiobook, and I listen on 3 times speed, so I'm going to get a decent portion of the way in, and I will let y'all know what I think of it. I think I'm also going to stop by Ulta too, because I was looking for my lip liner. I always do like a lip liner that's a brown shade, but it's like a little bit darker than my natural lips, and then I take like a really dark lip liner and I do that very on the outer edges, and then I blend them together and then blend it with my natural lip in the middle, and then I put on like lip gloss or lip balm or whatever. And I realized that I could not find my brown lip liner, and I used to have like 3 and I misplaced all of them, so I need to go get more. And the ones that I have, I don't even know what color or brand they were because I've had them for so long it like wore off. I know one of them was ColourPop, and that was my favorite one. I don't know if they have ColourPop in Ulta, whatever. I'm gonna look to see, so I think I'm gonna stop at Ulta. But yeah, I'm really excited to go to Barnes because, as I said, I haven't been to Barnes in so long. I think the most recent bookstores that I've been to, well, there's a used bookstore by me that I love, and I've been going there a couple times. And then I went to Half Price Books when I went to Atlanta, and when I went to Texas we went to one bookstore there. It's like a really popular bookstore, I can't remember what it's called, but I haven't been to any other bookstores recently besides those. Like literally when I went on trips, and then my local used bookstore, that's it. So I'm excited to go back to my favorite Barnes. This is my favorite Barnes in my area. I love it so much. Like I literally know all the Barnes near my city, and this is my absolute favorite one. So I'm really excited because it's so good, except they don't have mac and cheese. I love the Barnes & Noble mac and cheese so much. Like I have an addiction to it, and normally the cafes have it, but the cafe here doesn't have a microwave, and they use that to make mac and cheese. I used to work in the Barnes & Noble cafe, so I know it's like good there, and I love the mac and cheese, so I'm really sad that they don't have it. Okay, she's bright. Sorry guys, I'm about to end this clip because the lighting is not looking good, but I'm about to start listening to the Ornithologist Field Guide to Love on the rest of my drive.
Thought that I would be a bit at peace by now. Yeah, you're lying in the shadows of my room. Oh, always heard your voice, I forget the sound now. You're awfully quiet while I cry out for you. Oh, I know you don't have much to say, yeah, that's clear keep on giving you grace while my heart's broken. But you take the time away to clear your head out. But I had so much to say, and you let me get away still. Well, I still cry, I won't lie, but you'll never know if I'm fine. Am I alright? Well, you'll never know. You took this path on your own time without giving us a try. So we'll never know. You came into my life at the right point, and now you're leaving when it gets hard. Should've kept it straight from the jump. Why'd we come this far to get this far? I should leave it alone, 'cause there's no proof.
I told y'all I give you permission to whip my ass. So I didn't standard 2 books. I bought originally 4, and then when I was walking out, I saw one that I don't know how I didn't see when I came in, and I was like, that's a book club book, like I need it, and it's one of my most anticipated of the year. So I ended up getting 5, but I originally wanted like 8. So I put back The Bewitching by Sylvia Moreno Garcia because I really want to read that book, but I didn't really enjoy Mexican Gothic by her. So I was like, maybe it's not the safest bet, especially because they only had it in hardcover. So I was like, it's more expensive, and I don't know if I want to invest that much money into a book that I may not like based off my experience with the author. So I was like, if I like it, I'll get it a different time. I also wanted to get Blood Over Brighthaven because I read that last month and I really liked it, and I wanted to get a physical copy, but I was like, I don't need it right now. Like, I really want these other books, and I was trying to narrow it down as much as possible because 8 books was just crazy. And then the last one I put back, is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. So I think I'm gonna get Blood Over Brighthaven and Swordcatcher later. I was like, okay, like we have to make some sacrifices here, and that's what it's gonna come to. So I did end up getting 5 books. Here are 4 of them, my first original 4 that I picked out, and I didn't really get that much horror or thrillers today. I'll probably be surprised. So the first one I am pulling out is Beautiful Venom by Rena Kent. Every single book in that store now has fucking sprayed edges, and like, I know there's some people that love sprayed edges. I know there's some people who hate sprayed edges. I'm just like, sprayed edges are fine. Like, I don't really care because most of the time I'm not even reading the physical copy, which you may be asking, Deja, why are you buying the physical copies if you're probably not going to read them? I don't know, I just like them, okay? It has sprayed edges, and it is the exclusive edition, so it says that has special content, which I've read some of the books in, I forget what series it is, but the first book is Deviant King, and that's like a bully romance, and I like that. And then I think that actually follows like the kids of her other series, and I read the first one in that series too. I think it might be like Cruel King or something. I don't remember, but this one I know is like a dark hockey romance. I do enjoy sports romance. I don't know if I'm gonna love this book. It was kind of a gamble to get it because when I read her books and I read more like dark romance, I feel like I was in like a completely different space, and what I enjoyed in reading was very different. So I'm a little bit nervous to read this because I'm scared I might not like it, and she's thick. She's almost 500 pages. For romance is kind of crazy. She's 480 pages. Yeah, I haven't read her Legacy of God series, which I know is God of Malice. That one's really popular. I haven't read that. I was reading Rena Kent before Rena Kent was really popular, but I decided to get that one. So then I got Never Whistle at Night, which is an indigenous dark fiction anthology. This is mostly horror, I believe, and it's a collection of short stories all about indigenous culture. I've been really wanting to read this one. It's been on my Amazon wishlist for a while, so I was like, I'm finally gonna get it. It has an intro by Stephen Graham Jones, but I don't know if any of these other authors. I know Darcy Little Badger, I know her, Nick Mendina, I know him, Wabugeshki Rice, I think that's how you pronounce it, Rebecca Roanhorse, and I think that's it. But it's just an anthology. I'm not the hugest fan of anthologies usually, but I really wanted to support these authors, and I've been really wanting to read this for a while. The bag is like touching me, and it's honestly overstimulating me. And then I got Someone You Could Build a Nest In. Again, more sprayed edges, and I think the original cover is red and yellow, but this is purple and green, and I think this one is a like horror book, but it has romance in it too. From what I've heard, everybody who's been talking about this one recently, I've been like really wanting to pick it up every single time they talk about it. I don't know when it came out. Did it just come out this year? It came out last year, but I think it's about a woman who falls in love with like a monster or something. I'm really excited to read that one. And then the last of the original books that I got is Terror at the Gates by Scarlett Sinclair. This one again was kind of a gamble. I saw Rachel from Raven Hair Reader raving about this book ever since it came out, and I think this one is more of an urban fantasy romance, which I prefer. I like more like urban fantasy or paranormal romances than like high fantasy, and she raved about this one. Now we do disagree on some books, like When the Moon Hatched, for example. So I'm taking a gamble. I'm trusting her. Rachel, I'm trusting you. But this one just sounded like one I would like, and it is a signed exclusive edition. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get it. Oh, that's gorgeous. I didn't even look underneath. What? Okay, hold on. So obviously it has stuff on the back, but the dust jacket, let me get a look at her. It's a map. Wow. It's a map. I don't know if I'm wrong or if I'm right, but Crescent City is one of my favorite like fantasy in general. Like I know it's like a fantasy romance series, but it's one of my favorite fantasies, and so this one kind of gave me the same vibes. So here's this. And then the back is the same too, so that is stunning. Like actually this edition is really, really pretty, so I hope that I like it. So I checked out completely. I was under budget. I was like, okay, T, because my rewards account had $5, I had a $15 gift card, my membership took off 10%. I was under budget. But then when I was walking out, I saw Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. It was literally on a table all by itself, and I was like, dang, this is my Patreon book club pick for the month. And I tried to own all of our book club picks because like I want to have them. I think I've actually unhauled some of them on accident, not remembering, but I think we've had almost 30 by now, so I'm probably gonna go through later and buy all the ones. Even if I don't like them, I like to keep them because I feel like it just symbolizes the book club. But also this is one of my most anticipated releases of the year. This is Holly Jackson's adult debut. If you guys don't know, her A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series is a 5-star series for me. I also really, really liked the reappearance of Rachel Price. I wasn't the hugest fan of 5 Survive, but it was still okay. But this one is her adult debut. This one's also an exclusive edition, so it has like this. I don't know if that's normally on the end papers, and then it has that under the cover, and it's like shiny. It's not matte, and it has that on the back too, so it's like the same, but she's like placed here. A woman is placed here, and then on the back she's not there. I don't know if it has anything else exclusive in it, but I'm really excited for this one. So when I saw it, I was like, let me go ahead and turn around and check out because I need that book too. And then I went by Ulta, and as I said, I was going to get a lip liner. I did get a couple things. Let me find the lip liner. I did originally first go to NYX because I know I used a lip liner before, but their packaging definitely changed. So I had their lip liner in my hand, but then I saw Juvia's Place, and I've never owned anything from Juvia's Place, but they are a black owned brand, and I've always kind of wanted something, and they're more drugstore. Like they're a little bit more expensive than like Elf or NYX, but they're definitely less expensive. I think this lip liner was $13 versus like the NYX one was like $7. So it's definitely a little bit more expensive, but not like $20 or $30 how high-end lip liners would be. So I've been really wanting to try out some of their products, especially because their eyeshadow palettes are more affordable, and they have like really like pigmented eyeshadows that show up on darker skin. Not saying that my skin is that dark, but I want to support that type of brand. But I got their Luxe liner in Koala because I had the NYX lip liner in my hand. I was just like, oh, Juvia's Place is right here. Like, let me just go swatch. And these ones were so creamy, so buttery compared to that. And like, as I said, when I put on my lip liner, I want it to stay in place, obviously, when I put it on. But then I want to be able to like blend it out into my lip. I don't want it to be a harsh line. I don't like that. I know some people do that, and like I love it on them, but I don't really like that for me. So I thought this one would blend nicely but still stay in place. They also had a long lasting one which was still really buttery and creamy, but I decided to go with this one, and I got the shade Koala. I don't know if I said that, but it's just like a kind of warmer toned brown. And then I got a couple other lip products. I got this So Juicy Plumping Gloss Balm from, what is it, NYX? Or no, ColourPop. Why was I saying NYX? I meant ColourPop this whole time. I went to the ColourPop lip liners because I know that I had them before, not NYX. I mix it up. But I actually had something like this. I had a Maracuja Juicy Lip Balm Oil thing from Tarte because they had like a deal or something a couple months back where it was like you can get basically a product in each category, like lip, face, blush, eyeshadow, whatever, mascara, and it was like ended up being like $5 a product or like $7 a product. So I got that, but I loved like the lip product that I got because I like to have the center of my lips pink personally. Like I normally just like put the brown lip liner, blend it in, and then leave the center of my lips plain besides just putting on lip gloss to keep it pink, but sometimes it loses the pinkness a little bit. So I really like that product, but I left it accidentally at a restaurant in Texas when I went to visit Haley, and she was like, do you want to go get it? And I was like, it's fine. Like I don't I don't want to deal with it. Do that. And this one looked very similar. It's in the color Guava Glaze. Let me swatch it for y'all. And it's very similar with like the clicky packaging. And it's like a very similar texture. It's right there. I haven't even put it on my actual lips. I can't really see it because the viewfinder is so small, but I think it looks cute, right? Like, I think I even like this color, honestly, more than the one that I had because I feel like it's more of like a little bit of a darker pink than the one that I had. But it's just kind of like an oil. Ooh, yeah, and it has like that plumping effect like the other one had. But it's just kind of like between a gloss and an oil, but in a balm form, if that makes sense. Like, it's definitely pretty sheer. Like, you could sheer it out. You could definitely have it with a little bit more coverage. And then I've been dying to try these, guys. Like, you have no idea. These are the e.l.f. Glow Reviver Melting Lip Balms, and these are supposed to be dupes of the Summer Fridays. I got a Summer Fridays lip balm for Christmas, and I've been using it almost every day, and I still have some, so it lasts a long time. But those are like 20 something dollars, like 24, 25 each. And e.l.f. basically, you know, e.l.f. is the dupe brand. They made these dupes of them and they're only $9. And I went right after they released to Ulta to get them and they didn't have them in stock yet. And so I finally saw them and I was like, yes, let me get them. So I got Vanilla Toffee, which I think is supposed to be the dupe of the one that I have. And they have like very similar packaging. I heard people say like the tip was a lot harder and firmer than the Summer Fridays, but I disagree. I don't think so. So let's see. I'm swatching it. I think this one actually has like a little bit more pigment than the Summer Fridays one. It's definitely brown. And as I said, I prefer more of a like pink lip, but I wanted to get the brown too because I don't know, like I like it. And then I got the Wild Cherry because, as I said, I prefer a pink lip, and they have a pink one that's like strawberry or something, like that's what the name is. But I feel like sometimes when things are meant to be pink and you put them on a skin tone, even my shade, like I'm not even that dark, and it looks like super bright, like bright baby pink, even though it's not that color. So I went with the darker kind of red because that's even what I use for blush. Like I literally use Rare Beauty's straight red blush, and then even before Rare Beauty even came out with those, I was using red blush before. I would use red eyeshadow. So I was like, I feel like it'll match what I already do. Ooh, yes. Okay, I'm kind of shearing it out so you guys can see how I'd put it on my lip. There it is. But these ones I would say definitely are actually more pigmented than the Summer Friday. So I don't know if I'll be using these as much when I don't have makeup on, but I'll test them out when I don't wear makeup because I feel like sometimes with pigmented lip products, when you aren't wearing makeup, it looks kind of weird. And if I don't have lip liner on, it looks weird. But then I feel like if I put on lip liner but I don't have blush and mascara, I look weird. So normally I just put on like a sheer lip balm or whatever. So I'll try them out when I don't have makeup on and see what it's talking about. But they have other shades, so maybe one of their other shades is more like sheer or clear. I just saw this. It's the Naturium, which I know they make like face skincare. I didn't see any of their face skincare there. I've been wanting to try it, but they have the smoother glycolic acid body wash. They have multiple different body washes, and I love the Dove body wash. And I'm still going to use my Dove because I just like the scent. I like the texture. But I know a lot of people do like double washing or like first wash, second wash. So I think I'm going to use this one for my first wash. It was pretty inexpensive for 17 ounces. It was only like $15, $16. So I'm excited to try this out. I'm actually about to go take a shower now, so then that way I can make some food. It's already like 9:30 and it's a Saturday night, so I can kind of do what I want, but I also might get up early tomorrow to go for a walk. We'll see if that happens, but it's been a little bit cooler, especially in the morning, so I might try to go in the morning. I'm gonna go take a shower and get comfy because that's what I really am craving. Like, I'm craving to be back in my comfy clothes, and then I'm going to make some food. I make just butter noodles. I think I'm craving a little butter noodle. Also, I didn't really read any of the book because I put the audiobook on the way home, and they have accents, and sometimes when they have accents like in the car, I cannot focus. And so I was like, I'm not gonna remember anything I listen to right now, so I'm just gonna put on music and I'll start listening when I get back. I think I'm gonna listen a little bit tonight because I just got this new game on my Switch. It's called Tiny Bookshop, I think, and I'm really liking it. But sometimes I have to pause and read because it has a little bit of like narrative in it. But I'm really, really liking that game so far. It's like $20. It just came out on Switch, and I'm really liking it. So I think I'm going to like get comfy and cozy so I can play my game a little bit. I did not read anything last night, actually. I don't even know what I did. I think I watched people play board games on YouTube. I'm not gonna lie. But well, yesterday I got a thing delivered from Walmart. It is a package of Alani News. There was 9 witch's brew and 3 pumpkin cream, and I heard the pumpkin cream is really bad. Kind of nervous for it, but that's the only way that I could get witch's brew because everybody talks about witch's brew. I've never tried it because I've never seen it in my area. I've never found it in the stores, nothing. And trust me, I've gone hunting for them before. So I was like, I'll take what I can get because I've been dying to try witch's brew. It's supposed to be like caramel apple. I heard they reformulated it and it's more apple than caramel now, which kind of makes me disappointed because I love caramel. But I thought we would try it on camera together. I literally supposed to start reading sprints in 1 minute, but I wanted to try this with y'all. Normally I put a straw in my Alani News, but I didn't grab one. So let's just try one. There's something on the lid of the can, okay. Ooh, it definitely smells like apple. Okay, I like it. It does kind of taste like apple juice. I actually really like it. It's really good. It definitely tastes like apple, not really super caramelly. I think there's more like caramel aftertaste, and base note is apple. Sorry if you keep seeing me go like this. It's because my walking pad's right here. But I like it a lot. My favorite, I think, is still the cotton candy. And then this one might be second. I used to drink a lot of Dream Float, and I still like Dream Float, but I think I drank it so much because it was my favorite flavor for the longest that I don't know if I like it anymore. I'm going to go start reading sprints, and hopefully today I can read all of the Ornithologist Field Guide to Love because it's not super long. So that's kind of my goal, is to kind of just read it today. I don't really have anything planned besides reading sprints. I mean, I have like a couple little things, like I need to put away my laundry still. I need to catch up on my reviews for the last 3 books I finished in this vlog. I need to update my TBR jar because I just got those books yesterday, and I had some books that I bought recently that I didn't put in there yet. And all those things I can listen to my audiobook while I do them. So I'm going to go start sprints now, and I'll talk to y'all when I have an update on the book. Gio wants to say hi. So it's actually been a few days. I have not been in the reading mood. I literally just lost my place. This is what happens when you don't use a bookmark. I was not in a reading mood. I'm still not really in a reading mood. I don't know what's going on. This book isn't bad at all. I just don't have the urge to pick it up ever. But I am liking it so far. Last night I got a good portion of this done because I was doing my nails. I haven't had nails in a bit because like one of my nails underneath, it broke and it was like far up there. So I was waiting for it to grow out. So I didn't have nails for like 2 or 3 weeks, but I did some nails. And while I was doing this, because this nail set was actually pretty fast because it's kind of simple, this probably took me like 3-4 hours. If I do way more complicated sets, sometimes they take me more like 5 hours. If you guys were curious, if I just did like a plain color, like it would literally take me like 2 hours. Like it really wouldn't be bad, but because I do like designs, it takes a little bit longer. I'm at the beginning of chapter 16, which is page 196, so I'm over 50% of the way into this book. This one follows Beth, and I want to say this takes place in like the 1800s, but Beth is basically an ornithologist at Oxford, I believe, and she is working with this other ornithologist who is like way more like rich than her and is just more highly recognized. So she's working with her to capture this death whistler bird at the beginning of the book, and right as they're about to capture it, another ornithologist swoops in and steals the bird. And so obviously she begins to dislike this other ornithologist because he literally swooped and got this bird right out from under them. And then the like ornithologist society basically decides that they're going to put on this competition for birder of the year, and the person that captures the endangered Caladrius bird will be birder of the year. And so they're kind of forced to team up to become birder of the year. Well, only one person can become birder of the year, but they like team up and are forced to team up. And maybe the teaming up is not even completely their own choice, or maybe people pulling strings behind the scenes to kind of get them to do things together. And this one is just kind of fun, silly, goofy. Nothing about this is very serious. It is magical. There are magical birds in here. So there's like magic. It's historical. It describes itself as a historical fantasy rom-com reminiscent of Indiana Jones. And I definitely see that. This one definitely leans more like historical, like a fun historical rom-com, but there are these magical birds. And the competition is just kind of like silly, goofy, fun. Like nothing about this is that serious. I project this one to probably be like a 3.5 star. I feel like that's a rating I've been giving out a lot frequently, where I liked a book, but it just wasn't a 4-star for me. But depending on how this ends, it could potentially be a 4-star because I am really liking it. I like the setting, and at first it took me a minute to get into the language because I haven't really read a historical fiction book with this kind of language and prose in a long time. So it took me a second to get into it, and I've been listening to the audiobook like 0.5 slower than I usually do because of the language and the accents. But I'm hoping to finish this before my friend comes tonight. My friend and I are doing something just at my apartment tonight. I don't really have much else to do today. It's like 4:30 in the afternoon, and so I'm going to walk on my walking pad and try to listen to this. I'm not huge on like listening and walking, but I also have my Kobo, so I might like immersive read on the walking pad because I'm fine with reading with my eyes on the walking pad, but if it's just like listening, I start to get bored. So I'm gonna walk on the walking pad, hopefully finish this one up. I also have to run to the store to get a couple things for our little girls' night that we're having. I have like an hour and a half of this left, and my friend is supposed to come in like 3.5 hours. So I think I can finish this before she comes, and if not, I'll finish it afterwards. But I'm really excited to see how the end of this is gonna be. So I filmed this vlog over a month and a half ago, and I'm just now getting to editing it now, and I realized that my outro got deleted, and I don't feel like setting up my camera, so we're doing it on photo booth on Mac. I did finish, of course, The Ornithologist Field Guide to Love by India Holt, and I did end up giving this one a 3.5 stars. All of my thoughts that I've said so far stand, where this was just kind of like a fun, goofy time. I really enjoyed a lot of elements in it, and there was nothing really wrong with this, except I didn't really feel invested in the romance. This happens a lot for me. I feel like a lot of like really popular romances, I don't think that the author crafts a convincible like relationship, and I don't really feel attached to the characters or attached to their story. And that was the reality in this. Like, I thought it was fun, whatever, but like I didn't really care about them getting together. I didn't really care about the romance. I liked the competition elements more, and I liked the setting and the atmosphere with the fantastical kind of elements, but then also the historical setting. It was super fun. I just didn't really feel connected to the characters or their relationship, but I would recommend this one for sure. And those are my thoughts on this book. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I had such a fun time with this vlog. As I said in the beginning, this was something that I had planned for a while, and I was so happy to finally get to this idea, even though it's not anything like crazy or super unique. I just was really excited to do this, and I'm happy that I was able to. And to let me know that you made it to the end, leave any color heart that you want to down in the comments, and I will see you on the next one. Okay, bye everybody. I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking in moments we live in. Yeah, you got the nerve to be on me, taking a life that I had you. If you got my number, don't add me, cause baby,